my phone into this microphone. So I'm hoping that the the YouTube thing is actually just by default using the microphone I plugged in. But I don't know. So what I'm going to do is just go and put my headphones on a second, which have somehow fallen off. Oh, no, they're just there on the desk. So, great. That's got that wire caught, which is exactly what I need when I'm trying to do a stream. Caught wires that is going to knock stuff flying otherwise. So I'm just going to put these on briefly while I set up the stream settings anyway. And I want to see if it's actually using that mic or not. Because, again, I don't actually know until I have a look. So, go to the live control panel. Hopefully it actually notifies people I'm on. Right, so I think it is using that mic, but what I can do is if I... Yeah, it definitely is, because if I tap near the phone... Yeah, that's quieter, so that's good. There is... I can just plug this microphone into my phone and it works a lot better than the, crappy mic that's actually built into my phone, and it's closer to where I am, so, that does mean I can't walk around the room with a phone, because I've got it connected to that cable. I mean, I don't know if I unplug that... Right, Rich? I don't know if I unplug the cable now to my phone, if it would just switch the microphones, or if it would break the audio on the stream, but... whatever. Anyway, let me just make sure the settings are correct, because the annoying thing is when you start streaming... I'll let anyone on, but I'll put slow mode on for 30 seconds, and we'll see if we end up getting a load of spam and crap. So yeah, anyway, you're right, Rich. My hay fever's starting getting bad now, as it usually does. Yeah, don't forget to like the stream, everybody. There's not many people on yet, but yeah, so I've got all the air filters running, because I did notice today was one of those days that, you know, immediately my, sort of, you know, my throat feels quite scratchy today. So, for anybody wondering where I did the video on them earlier, here's those weird North Korean M&M rip-offs. I've actually eaten a few more since I did that little video earlier. They've not choked me to death yet. Again, you can see a bit of it up there at the top. That weird discoloured stuff on there, I don't know if you can see that, how easy it is to see on the thing. It kind of looks like somebody splattered glue. There's a good bit you might be able to see there. It's there, yeah. But that stuff is, I guess, their weird North Korean, sugary stuff that's not, like Western sugary stuff. So, if I use the little hat and dispense one, there we go. As I said, they're just kind of like flavourless M&Ms. Oh, that's good, Rich. And you're right, Nick. So yeah, these weird North Korean M&Ms. I might do a side-by-side video comparison of these versus real peanut M&Ms. But these are basically like super budget peanut M&Ms. They're not... The good thing with them is they're not... If you had sensitive teeth, you could actually bite into the coating on them really easily, because they're not tough at all. Because making hard candy, whatever you call it, around them is something the North Koreans are incapable of or can't afford to do for sweets. So, yeah. And like I said, you've got this weird cowboy with the cowboy pig or whatever it is, the pink little hat on for the bottle. Yeah, exactly, Nick. Like I said, Hype sent them me, because a few people asked me that, even though I thought I said it in the video. So yeah, Hype sent them me when I think he was in a place in China where sometimes they get North Korean imports. So, because originally he wanted to get me some North Korean, their rip-off of Lego and some stuff like that, where you can buy, North Korean tanks and planes and that as Lego sets. But, yeah, instead what they had was the sweets. So yeah, I've got those. I've got some ones that look like a chocolate liqueur set. But I don't actually know. We'll have to eat them on a video and find out. And some I have no clue what they are, because I haven't photoed them and put them through Translate yet, because they're in a packet where you can't see the individual sweets. But I think they're individually wrapped sweets, so they might be little chocolates, they might be hard candy, like boiled sweets, they might be a Haribo type thing. I have no idea. Alright, Monica? I have absolutely no clue what those other ones are until I, take a photo, translate it, and but yeah, like with these, it just said something like chocolate something or other, where it didn't translate it properly. It translated more of the stuff about the factory designation than it did about the thing. But yeah. When can you get a North Korean gas mask review? If anybody was ever able to get me a North Korean gas mask, but I think they're unobtainium. And I don't know if North Korea just uses other people's gas masks. Let's have a look. North Korea gas mask. But I imagine North Korea just uses Soviet, Russian, or Chinese gas masks. Yeah, looking at a load of pictures, I mean, this won't be the case for all of them, but a lot of the North Korean gas mask images coming up look like either just Soviet things, like a slight variation on the Chinese or like Soviet or Russian design. Yeah, there's one, somebody's done a thing on the gas mask wiki, which is an unknown North Korean gas mask, where basically they mention all the similar masks to it, which again, as we were saying, are basically Chinese and Russian masks, but just with a few design choices that are different. I wouldn't recommend putting bleach on a gas mask because it could damage it. I mean, it depends on the mask. You'd have to know what the rubber is and everything else. Because again, like I said, silicone lubricant's the best thing to clean them with. My most practical one I've got is this, the Avon C50, because it's actually a really good mask. So it's a modern one with everything else. It's not like my favourite historical style one, but in terms of just being a really practical mask, it would be this one. Because, it's lightweight, comfortable, got very good panoramic vision, all that sort of stuff. But if I had to think of a historical mask for my collection, I'd have to have a think about that. Because again, there's lots of masks that sometimes look cool or whatever, but they're not... they're not very practical masks, or they're certainly not practical today, but, yeah. Anyway, what I thought we'd do on this stream, and I can only do this because I'm actually at the PC, because if I was streaming off of my phone and I was out somewhere, I wouldn't be able to do it, is in 20-something minutes, the US stock market opens, so you can see my live facial reaction, like I'm some sort of weird, reaction tuber, to, how much the, stock market's fucked up today. But the outside of the US stock markets are not doing well, so I doubt the US stock market's going to do well. Because, man, I know a lot about tariffs. They're my favourite word in the English dictionary. Do you think it's risky to wear Virtus equipment? No, because enough of it's been surplused officially now, Geared Guy. Like I said, I've got Virtus stuff, and, I've never had an issue showing it off. Like I said, if you bought something that was really... When, Virtus stuff first started hitting the market, I'd be very careful about if serial number was visible then, sort of thing. But because so many surplus sellers have Virtus stuff in now, I don't think anyone would bat an eye at it. Like, when the army first adopts something, that's when I'd be very careful about if you manage to get your hold of some, showing it, or definitely not showing serial numbers in case it was not officially meant to be on the surplus market. But I mean, I doubt anything will happen, because obviously gas masks like the PBF are designed to be resistant to quite nasty chemicals, so household cleaning bleach probably wouldn't be a problem. It's just like I was saying, it's especially with older masks, I wouldn't recommend that. I've got the bits I've got for the Virtus. I've got the helmet itself and the cover, but I don't even know where the cover is because I've not used it in ages. I've got the mandible and the ballistic goggle type things that all connect together. But for the most part, I don't keep those on it, because if I want to mount then a night vision scope, night vision head thing on it, you know, not goggles wouldn't be the word, monocular is the proper word. Yeah, I'm good, thank you, Hype. Yeah, the problem is that, yeah, if you then mount, if you want to mount a night vision monocular on the Virtus, you can't do it with all that other stuff on it. So in the end, you know, you're probably going to actually just want, if you're using it with nods or something similar, to just have the standard, like, Rhino mount that's, you know, built onto the helmet without any of the other stuff on. The poster, I think, is a reproduction, as in you can actually, for cheaper, buy the originals, but a lot of them are quite faded and that. There's loads of people in eBay in former Eastern Bloc countries who sell those posters, but, you know, they're just quite faded and, you know, sometimes water damaged and whatever else. For airsoft, I don't really know. Like, modern masks in theory should be fine, but again, like people have said, is that lots of gas masks, respirators are not designed for airsoft, as in that, you know, they're designed to protect you from gas and things like that, but they're not designed to have BBs repeatedly shot at them. So, again, with older masks, you have to be really careful, because a lot of the time the lenses can break on them, and, you know, other little, like, connecting joints can break, because they're not designed to be hit by bits of plastic flying quickly, you know. Their purpose was to protect you from gas, be kind of able to withstand a bit of abuse while in a, like, bag or a canister, you know, sort of, you know, one of those metal tin type things like the Germans used to use. But, you know, they were never designed to stop anything like shrapnel or whatever, because if that happened, you were dead anyway, so. You could use an S10, but you'd have to get replacement either outserts for it or replacement inserts, because the S10 actually had really weak lenses. It was like some sort of PVC, I can't remember what kind of plastic it was, it might have been PVC. But one of the differences between the FM12 and the S10 was they went to like a much better polycarbonate eyepiece, whereas the original S10 used like quite a weak PVC sort of thing, which is fine until stuff starts hitting it. So anyway, yep. So as if you didn't see the video earlier, Hype, I did open these that you sent me. As I haven't done videos on any of the other North Korean things yet. I thought I'd do them one at a time over different days, so if one of them kills me, people can ID which product it was that poisoned me. So this one is the weird pig with the little pink cowboy hat on, which has his hands behind his back. Oh, is it meant to be a bear? I thought it was a pig on the, So is the actual thing a bear, but the it had a pig sort of thing around its neck? But yeah, he's got his arms behind his back, and he's full of knockoff M&Ms. So yeah. Ah, you got a bear. Yep. My one definitely had a pig on its neck picture, because I showed that on the stream. Yeah, it's because the mandible on the visor has quite a bit of space where the helmet sits, because the helmet sits about there. There's quite a bit of space between your eyes in it. I'm just going to have a look on here if I've still got my Virtus handy, but I might have put it somewhere else. I can see my Mark 7 back there. But I don't know if my Virtus was handy. Probably not. It's probably buried under loads and loads of stuff. Like I said, the Mark 7 I like, but again, that's an older helmet. That's just, you know, a very thick, good Kevlar helmet. Oh, and, yeah, Hype, if you didn't see, well, you wouldn't have seen, but yeah, I've got your mic, the new mic, connected there, and that's what the phone's using. Because it does turn out, if I just connect that little USB-C to the phone, it works with that. It basically, to me, tastes like a peanut with a little tiny bit of chocolate-y sort of candy around it. Not too much sugar. But that doesn't bother me too much, a lack of sugar in the chocolate. But yeah, it's fine. It's like one of those things where I'll do a comparison video, because I've actually got some peanut M&Ms between those and real peanut M&Ms. But yeah, it's basically a peanut M&M that's just got not very sweet chocolate around it, you know, a very small amount of chocolate. That's the main reason I think they look smaller than the regular peanut M&M. The peanut isn't that differently sized, it's just there's barely any chocolate or candy for the shell. But, you know, it's actually fine. It's not nice, you know, it's one of those things where I'll have to get round to trying the other North Korean snacks. But yeah, those are, I could perfectly eat them. I still definitely speak to Mike. I haven't done a stream with him in ages. Annoyingly, with my work schedule, I used to often be, you know, at least be chatting with Mike on streams. But the problem is, where he streams quite often on a Friday and Saturday night, because I work really long hours Saturday and Sunday, I often aren't on those because I go to bed quite early Friday and Saturday. Yeah, I haven't tried those yet. I've got the chocolate ones to try, like the ones that I was saying to people earlier. You know, I was just guessing what might be in them. The Russian multivitamin bears are really nice, actually. No, I don't know about that animatronic universe. I've done a video on the Polish copy of it. Oh yeah, that is actually quite cool, because yeah, the problem, like I said, with a lot of these sort of things is that there's just so much sugar in a lot of the Western stuff. Right, so we've got 15 minutes till the stock market opens in the US, and we can prepare for the... My sleeping pattern caps lock is not good, but that's mostly because I've just had like on and off insomnia for years. So sometimes I can have weeks where my sleep stuff is flawless. Other times I can have things where I can't sleep for days in a row, you know, just feel really tired otherwise. It's just one of those things where, you know, no matter how many times I've been to the doctor about bad sleeping habits and that, they've never wanted, they're like, oh no, we can't give you anything for insomnia because then you'll get addicted to insomnia tablets or whatever. So I'm one of those people since childhood, like almost I don't fit a good sleeping pattern. Like, if it was up to me and I didn't have a work schedule to try and keep up with, I'd just basically be awake for loads and loads of hours in a row, then probably sleep for days in a row. That's almost like how my body wants to work with sleeping patterns. But, you know, like I said, the annoying thing is that, you know, like, when you actually have to do work shifts and do other stuff, you can't do that. Yeah, the problem is with alcohol, though, Hype, is like, yeah, is that alcohol is very good for making you sleep quickly, but then you have low-quality sleep, and then you have the problem as well that if you've drunk quite a bit, that a couple of days later it makes insomnia worse. But yeah. Any props in what sense? Like film props? Like actual film props that have been, way too many, Gunner. I have the weird thing, Hype, I don't get hangovers with headaches or anything like that anymore if I drink too much, but I get hangovers where I basically just feel really tired and almost flu-like. You know, where like the cytokines or whatever in my immune system all get flared up, where I just, you know, feel achy and sort of horrible. But at the moment I'm doing a period again where I'm just basically not drinking anything, not even beer or whatever, you know, just having a big period of just not touching alcohol. I also do the thing as well, at least over 150 anyway, Gunner, to seriously answer you. But yeah, I have the thing where, you know, as well, like I don't really drink caffeine past 6 p.m. Normally, thankfully, hay fever isn't that bad in the evenings to affect my sleep. Like, I've had to take a hay fever tablet today and everything, and a little bit of cough medicine because there was loads of pollen that kept making me go earlier on today. Yeah, I've got melatonin and tried that. Worked for me for a couple of days, and then my body basically immediately got used to it. Like I said, out of over-the-counter sleeping tablets, none of them have really worked. Like Nitol, like the proper Nitol, like old-school antihistamines, are the most I've ever got to work for me. But again, I didn't want to take them for more than a few days in a row, just because I imagine then your body would start to require them to sleep, then I'd be really fucked. Yeah, one of my friends is like that, Hype. I'm really jealous that he's one of those people that can literally lay down within a minute he's asleep, even if he's in a noisy environment. Where I've had the problem before, where I've sometimes been up for 3 or 4 days straight, you know, getting audio and hallucinations and all that. only, you know, swigging caffeine non-stop at work to actually function, you know, and even as I feel exhausted, I still can't sleep because I feel so tired that every little thing, you know, keeps me awake. So I'm one of those weird people like that when it comes to, you know, like sleeping issues and whatever. But, oh yeah, did you see I sent, again, I don't know if you've seen this because I can't see on the thing when I'm streaming, but, yeah, annoyingly, the desk mount for the mic, or like the arm mount, the fucking weld was shit on it, so that snapped when I was adjusting it, because I thought I'll try it with the arm mounted to the desk again, and yeah, that literally, the weld seam on that was pathetic. So weirdly, the rest of the mechanical arm is quite good, but it was just that clamp for the far end, where that bit connects to the, you know, like table bit, that was crap. I mean, I don't know if I can somehow connect this to the other base and then have this just as an extended, you know, thing, so I could have it on my desk like that and then going like that. I don't have SS uniforms, no. If you're looking at that and think that's an SS uniform, you're very bad at IDing military uniforms. Yeah, like I said, the actual desk mount is so much better, because again, I know this, I'm holding now the microphone up, and I don't know how much this is going to fuck up the audio of the thing. But yeah, the cool thing with this desk mount is this is actually a really heavy, like, good quality mount there. So the desk mount there with, like, the, you know, like the bungee type stuff there, that's really good. Like saying that sort of thing works really well. There's the, like I said, and that's how I used to have the blue snowball set up on a mount like that. Fucking hell, Rich, no, I didn't see that bit, but delusions, eh? I think my AI art from the last few days was pretty good, but I didn't actually fucking do anything, and it's not better than the real artist. That was just me photoshopping Trump with recession type shit happening behind him, like the Dyatlov picture. Raise the tariffs. If you weren't there in the room when they raised the tariffs, where were you? I was golfing. Yeah, I've got it set to the one you recommended, the middle setting. Yeah, where it obviously is just very directional from the front of the mic to my face. We can try it on one of the other settings, actually, and see how it goes. So let's switch it to the circle one. So the circle one, I assume, is just the all-round audio, where I guess turning this around doesn't affect the audio too much, maybe? I'm not actually sure, because again, I can't hear this. Let me put my headphones on, then I can hear it with a bit of a delay, how the audio sounds. Right, so that still sounds alright like that. Obviously, I can hear the noise cancellations going in, because when I stop talking, it quietens down again a bit. So if I turn this around while I'm talking, that doesn't change very much at all, does it? Right, so the circle one is pretty good, actually. That is pretty 360. Yeah, so that's good. And then this one is just the front and rear. So in theory, if I talk to it from this angle, it shouldn't be very good. But this angle should be good. That's still clipping it a bit, actually. And what about this angle? Yeah, so I'm not really sure about that setting. But yeah, the middle one is where it shouldn't be. That's weird. I can hear myself pretty well, and I'm at the rear of this. Even though it should be that angle. Yeah, because that's the 360. And that's the directional. But in theory, that should only work from the front, so I don't know why it's picking up quite well if I do that to the rear. But whatever, it's not the end of the world. And if I turn the cancellation off, you can suddenly hear the computer fan a lot more. It sounds like a Hoover in the background now. Just going to try that on the 360 mode with that off now. Yeah, say the noise cancellation works well. Put that back to the middle. And put the noise cancellation back on. Yeah, and then suddenly the Hoover sounds of the computer fans gone pretty well. Right, TikTok content. I would technically do that if I had more issues with my YouTube stuff, so yeah. TikTok I would definitely do if, like, again, I had lots of issues, you know, logging into YouTube or stuff. Maybe if YouTube didn't approve of it, I could do it on TikTok. But yeah, otherwise, not really, just because it's more effort to try and maintain another platform. Oh, 5 minutes to go. Let's get a tab open. So I want to get Google Finance up. Let's go to US. And now the Nasdaq is already down. I don't know what time that opened up. But yeah, the other two haven't opened yet. So the Dow Jones and the S&P 500, I think, open in about 4 minutes. Not Mike Rajiv, sorry. Yeah, it's the new mic because, yeah, I can plug that into my phone. So we were just literally doing a demonstration of that. Oh, but for when somebody said about film props earlier, before I forget, if it's still visible. The only person's signature I've got, and I didn't go to a convention to get this myself, I just bought it from one of those places that, you know, does film conventions and gets actors to sign stuff, is I do have the Van Pelt signed, if I can get that. The one signed by Jonathan Hyde. So there you go, Jonathan Hyde, Van Pelt. Just because of, I like Jumanji and I like the meme of the character, you know, British person hunting people for sport. Even though I know it's the most dangerous game and all that, but still. But that's the only thing close to a film prop I have. I mean, obviously I've got equipment like Milsurp that was used as like film props, but you know, like not mine directly, but as in, you know, like where, like for example, that thing, the mannequin behind me is in an East German uniform, and the thing I like about, you know, like saying East German uniforms is there's so many World War II things if you watch them past like the 1980s, 1990s after the collapse of East Germany, where the Germans in World War II films suddenly have what do you call it? They suddenly have what do you call it? After like the fall of East Germany, any like World War II film after 1990, so many of the German officers are now suddenly wearing East German uniforms because they're so much cheaper for them to just sew some different symbols onto them. You can generally tell by the buttons, like the kind of grey is a bit of a different shade of grey, and like the button, you can tell they look like the more plasticky buttons, like not the type the Germans would have had in World War II. I don't think you can, Kevin, if that's a gay dating exclusive thing. You probably shouldn't be on it then if you're not, you know, trying to do that. Yeah, not good enough, Sonny Jim. Yeah, although the first gun is funny because the first gun is a Winchester. We got 2 minutes, by the way, to go. 2 minutes for the stock market. Yeah, the first one is a Winchester pump-action shotgun that they've just put like a cone on the end of the barrel and like a glued-on fake magazine. But that's actually a real functioning gun, and it did go into auction. Achievement itself for quite a lot. And then is the next one he has like something like a USAS 12, and that is actually completely functional, but it's got like all the night sights and everything else attached to it. Right. Okay, we've got one minute. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, if I turn the noise cancellation off though, Rajiv, there's even more. Oh, if it's me here, it will be just clothes rubbing, chair moving, because this mic's a lot more sensitive. I can turn the gain down a bit, but then I don't know if my voice will be loud enough. But yeah, because this is a much better mic, you get the problem of, you know, obviously it picks up sound a lot more, whereas if I just do a stream with my phone normally, it's using the shitty inbuilt phone mic, which is low quality and doesn't pick stuff up very well. So it has to be right in front of your face to you know, pick stuff up. All right, how's the time? Right, we've just hit 30 minutes, so we should have the opening thing any minute now. Oh, they're down 3% already. I don't know why this is funny. They're down fucking 3% again already. Oh, sorry, that's gone back to Europe. No, the Dow Jones, is down 0.68%, which is still a lot. S&P 500 hasn't opened yet. Oh no, there we go. S&P 500 is down 0.32%. I didn't. I don't know if I saw your thing, Coconut. Let me go back to the chat and have a look, the main chat on my PC, and scroll up. Then I'll go back to looking at the markets. But no, when I refreshed, it went to our stock markets being down horribly, which is still funny. Well, I mean, it's not funny, but you know what I mean. It's this whole thing. It's like, why not enjoy the clown show? We're fucking trapped in it anyway. Coconut, if you asked a previous question, it's not shown up at all in the chat. So what probably happened is YouTube hid your comment. So you might have to try and re-ask it with slightly different words. Because the problem is sometimes YouTube does this thing where it just simply doesn't allow comments if it's got a word in there it doesn't like. Yeah, not great, not terrible. Oh, it's down 0.91% now for the Dow Jones. Down zero. I'll get the S&P 500 up just in real time. So, yeah, down 0.52% at the moment. I mean, I don't know why you want me to do a running commentary on this, but you know, we've just got a fucking clown in the White House that thinks declaring global trade wars will somehow make the US richer. Oh, it's gone up slightly. It's down to 0.49% now, but yeah, there's a red line just going down again. Because this is, again, the thing is that people yesterday, when it opened up slightly, were like, oh, it's recovering, it's recovering. And then what happened was it just went down as the day went on and then still ended in the negative. But again, it's the thing, yeah, it's the auto sales haven't been as high as we've seen, because I think the first 3 days of his tariff bullshit where it was like, you know, some of the worst days in US history for the stock market, that was where everybody was just panic selling. Now I think we've got to the bit where a lot of people are just holding on to their shares and seeing what happens, but most people are still selling rather than holding. So yeah, the Dow Jones again is down. The Nasdaq is slightly up now, but again, like I was saying, is that it is still not good. You know, like normally in volatile trading periods, you'd at least have a day where you get quite a bit of an upsurge again, but at the moment it's just down day on day on day. What, the North Korean one, Coconut? I will have a quick look. I'll refresh the North Korean one in a few minutes and see if your comment shows up. But again, it's the same problem. I think it's not as bad on normal videos as live streams, but with normal videos and live streams, you still have the problem that YouTube has like its own banned list of words that sometimes makes no sense. And, you know, that sort of thing where basically you can sometimes type something that's completely innocent and YouTube will keep hiding the comment. Yeah, like that. There was that guy yesterday who was like going, see, it's green, ha ha ha. What was it? The stupid word Trump came up with, panicans or whatever. Like, ha ha, panicans, see, it's all over, everything's fine now. And then he was like, oh, it doesn't matter if you lose a bit of money because the day ended in the red again. Like I said, it's not good for anybody. It's fucking us over in the UK as well. But, you know, like I said, we're stuck on Mr. Bones' wild ride at this point. So, you know, you've got technically the most powerful man in the world is surrounded by yes men, and he doesn't know what he's doing. No, it's because that one's quite old, so it's, as they get older, they kind of get more tanned and darker in colour. So if I shine a light directly on it, you might be able to see that, yeah, it used to be a much lighter shade of grey, and it's kind of tanned. Essentially, it's just tanned. That's all that's happened with it. Again, I can't get this too far over because I'd have to unplug the mic. But if I just knocking everything off my desk, that's why I didn't want to do that. But yeah, it's just the rubber's tanned over the years because of it being, you know, That one has normally been one I've had on a mannequin, I think, for years and years and years. That same mannequin, it's just been in a different room a lot of the time. Turn on carrot browsing. What's that? No, I don't want to do that. Thank you, Google. Let me just pop that back there. Cancel. Yeah, it's one, I think, because it was in a room where we used to have used to be in that conservatory there, and that was the one where it used to be like a plastic, like sunroof type roof on that room. So the mask pretty much got a 360-degree amount of UV on it. So it's one of those ones where it's not really mattered. Yeah, so it's been a pretty uniform tanning on it. Like, I've got another MM1 I keep away from the sunlight. Yeah, and the rubber is still good on it. As in, you could wear that mask. It's got a bit of cracking to it if you look really closely. But the rubber is still supple enough that the mask would work. Whereas the fucking ARFA, yeah, is one of those ones that just literally falls apart because it's made from that weird rubber that basically turns into a brittle plastic as it gets older and gets exposed to UV. But yeah, it's the same thing you see happen with those masks that you see happen with, like, the GP5s, if ever you've seen the really brown-looking GP5s, or, other Soviet masks. I'm just going to see, I think if I type in India gas mask, I think there was a picture from India of years ago of loads of, like, guys, I don't know if it was after Bhopal or something, where they were in, like, Soviet gas masks. It might not have been, a GP5, it might have been a Shum 41 or whatever, but they looked almost like a brown-yellow mask, and it was, again, just literally because of the fact that, yeah, off-white is a good way of describing it, I guess, but that's not, that can actually be a way of, but yeah, it was just one of those things where I think you sometimes see them happen with, like, the Chinese M69 masks and the M65 masks as well, where, like, they used to be quite a grey-white colour and then they end up very tanned. I'm just seeing if Google Images is good enough to get any pictures of people responding to Bhopal with, like, gas masks on. And again, I don't want just the stock photos you can buy this image one. I'm just seeing as well, if I type in somewhere like Syria gas mask, just because I know with some of the places like Iraq and Syria and places like that if they had Soviet masks and they're, a bright desert country, you'd see those discolour pretty quickly. But, again, annoyingly, most of the masks I can find of Syrian troops are actually in the black version of the Shums, so you can't tell if that's discoloured or not. But again, the black versions of Soviet masks are definitely better if you're in a country with lots of UV radiation. Let me look up Iraq gas masks, and I'll go back to the comments, and we'll also go back to the market. But again, now I'm looking up Iraq gas mask, it's all pictures of coalition troops, not actually Iraqis in gas masks. What about maybe Iranian gas mask? I mean, I wonder if there's that famous one going to come up from the Iran-Iraq war where they're wearing, like, an M17 copy or whatever it is. But never mind anyway, it's not that important. I'm getting completely sidetracked from the stream now. Oh, the S&P 500 is up now 0.31%. Oh, and my phone has fallen over. See if I can actually get that at a good angle again. Because again, the problem is where I'm using this with a microphone plugged into the bottom of it, I now can't stand it up on its regular stand that uses, I don't know, maybe I can still use this. Or is it just really not going to work? Because again, like I said, I've normally got a stand where it will just obviously plug into the USB-C at the bottom and that keeps it upright, but yeah, that's not going to work. I'm just going to hold it for a bit. Hang on. Right, I'll go back to the comments on the big screen anyway. Yeah, I suppose that's more recently though, isn't it? Like Chinese masks would have done that. It depends what the gas mask is, caps lock, because again, it's a bit like eBay. If it's a mask that is often very cheap, if it's cheap on Etsy, that's pretty normal. If it's not, then yeah, the thing is with like the Type 64s and 65s and that hype is that they're a different type of rubber than the MM1. The MM1 is, although it was made during a period of a lot of the shun masks, they're what do you call it? Like they're actually quite a different rubber. Like the rubber on one of those is more similar to a lot of like the American and British World War II style masks, where it's like, you know, quite a thick, less flexible bit of rubber. Whereas so it's a bit more like the GP4's kind of rubber. Whereas you know, like the Shum 41 and like the Chinese Type 65 and 69s are much more like, you know, the PMG style rubbers and that. Generally, Rajiv, with Soviet surplus, the stuff that was so mass produced, it's not even, you don't even get knockoffs because it would cost more to do the knockoffs, if that makes sense. It's only really on more expensive things you have to worry about the knockoffs. Anyway, I won't be on too much longer because, like I said, the only problem with using this microphone and everything is that I need to get another stand for my phone now. I used to have one, but it broke. But I need to get one of those stands where there's actually a hole in the bottom of the stand, so you can thread a USB wire through it, and then put the phone back flush on the stand. Because the problem is at the moment I'm just having to use stuff on the desk to, you know, stick the phone up, and then the vibration of the desk makes the phone shake. So yeah, the US stock market is recovering ever so slightly now. But you know, not a good thing. And if there are people buying the dip now, I don't think it's going to go very well for them. The European ones are down, but I don't know if they're going to start improving now that they've seen that the people are having confidence in the US market. But yeah, I'm not optimistic about the US market. Let's put it that way, because of who's in charge of it. So yeah, I won't be on much longer, as I said. I want to see if that person's left a comment yet on the, no, they've not left a comment on that one about the thing yet, so I'm guessing the person who said they were leaving a comment, they're typing something YouTube just does not allow them to type. Probably has several verboten words in it, and again, I don't know what those words are, because YouTube doesn't tell you. We sometimes worked some of them out just from where, like, I've got people to break a sentence up a few times. Because I know safety used to be one of the words like that. So if somebody was talking about the safety on a gun or gas mask safety, it kept hiding the comments. Like, you know, not ones I could approve or deny, but it would just completely hide them. And we think that was because it was probably something to do with child safety and, like, noncery and stuff like that. And potentially, we don't know. But it was just the word safety just at one point on YouTube's list of, you know, hidden forbidden words was one of the ones where people could keep putting like they could say something's safe, but if they used the word safety in the context of it, YouTube just completely blocked it. So there we go. So anyway, yes, the US the US markets are going down again, like quite steeply down again. Not quite yet at the point they're in the loss again, but you've had what looks like an initial buy off now on the Dow and S&P. And now both of them, like each other, are kind of doing this again, where they've like peaked probably for the day. Alright, cool, thank you. Like I said, these aren't bad, but there's no reason for me to get these other than peanut M&Ms, but they're just kind of a novelty. But yeah, I'll let you know as and when I get through them. Yeah, like I said, the Russian gummy bears I like. I've still got a bag of those because I opened one bag, ate a few, and then thought I'll do a video on these, and then ended up eating the bag really quickly. So I've got one of the bags still sealed somewhere, and then I'll do a video on them when I actually open that bag. But yeah, like the Russian gummy bears are really nice, but so far some of the other things have just kind of been a bit meh. But like I said, I haven't actually eaten the other North Korean things yet. So yeah, so. Yeah, the S&P 500 now is... Oh, the Dow Jones is back down. Is it? It's like, according to the chart, is the chart more delayed? Hang on. Oh, no, yeah, the Dow Jones is now down again. It's, like, spiked and done that. The S&P 500 is following suit, where it's, like, some people seem to have initially bought, like, you know, auto buys or... like, you know, put big buys in thinking they're buying the dip or whatever, and now, yeah, we're seeing already them seeming to go back down below the line. I thought you said Russian pedo bear then, but yeah. The thing is, they're actually a nicer kind of jelly than Haribo. Because the thing is with, it's like in Britain, I definitely prefer to Haribo like Bassett's Jelly Babies and some of the other brands of Jelly Babies. Like, you know, where they're meant to be a similar kind of jelly, but it's a softer jelly. Oh, and the Dow is now slightly above the line again. I mean, I don't know why people want to watch me do live commentary on the US market's volatility. But I imagine even if the markets start doing kind of alright today, as soon as Trump opens his mouth and says something stupid, they'll start crashing even faster again. And now the Dow has crashed again. So again, there's no point in me really talking about this live, because yesterday people were like, "Oh, it's actually recovering," and then it was like, as the day went on, it was just doing that. But yeah, we'll see. But like I said, I don't see, like a lot of economists have said at this point, Trump's done so much damage it will take like 2 years to undo it. And, you know, that's if he rode everything back tomorrow. All right, hi, Alexei. But yeah, but he's not going to do it because he's an ideologue and he thinks he's always right and everybody else is wrong. So, I suppose I've got the thing here, actually, haven't I, for, doing the, here we go. We've got our, let's see how the US stock market's going. It does actually produce quite a lot of wind, this. I like wind. Or no, he doesn't like wind, does he? He knows a lot about wind, but yeah, I won't crank that too loudly because there's other people around. But yeah, these again, thanks for sending me this ages ago, Hype. These are really cool, these Chinese hand crank air raid sirens. Because, again, I always like air raid sirens, I just think they're cool. But, that's just for the folding up way, isn't it, like that? But I might as well just leave it out. But yeah, so, yeah, the US market, again, the Dow is now going even further down. Well, they use a similar technology, caps lock. They all just use old sirens before they had digital-style sirens, were just literally a big turbine fan. Like, you might be able to see it there if I get the camera angle right, look. It's just a fan that's shaped in the right direction that it picks up the air and makes like a horrible whirring noise. Because that's how the Stuka siren worked. It was just like a dive propellers on the legs that would, as the speed went up, the pitch went up. But, because yeah, in like your regular household fans, they shape the blades in a way they don't make a horrible noise. But if you wanted to, you could probably adapt a household fan that when you turned it on, you know, the blades would go like that kind of noise. But yeah, old emergency vehicles probably had just like a fan that pulsed on and off at the right angle. Oh, that's pretty cool, yeah. I mean, these can put out a lot of decibels, but again, a lot of the old air raid ones from World War II are just these on a bigger scale. Because obviously it stands to reason the bigger you made the fan, the louder you could get them. But yeah, again, it's like you're saying, it's just the RPM of rotors, isn't it? And it's like the angle of things and all that. But yeah, essentially an air raid siren is just a fan that pulses on and off. Wow, I mean, it depends what signal you're doing of it. The all clear is just that. But yeah, the warbling up and down, that's the actual air attack siren version of it. Anyway, right, hope everybody has a good day. Like I said, the S&P 500 is just about struggling above the line at the moment. The Dow Jones is... apparently the Dow Jones has just gone back up over the line. Yeah, I don't think, again, it's looking good for the US stock market today. And like we said, what will happen later on is the man who knows a lot about everything will open his mouth, and it'll probably get worse. So anyway, have a good day, everyone, and I will see everyone hopefully tomorrow, actually. But yeah, see you all. Have a good day.